They always told you, never chase women, let them chase you. But the first time you tried that in the real world, something strange happened. Nothing. No chasing, no messages, no signs of interest. Just silence. You waited for women to chase you, to crave you, to notice you. But the brutal truth hit like a slap to the face. Women almost never chase men. And yet, the moment you started showing interest, everything began to crumble. She became cold, distant, bored. It felt like a trap. Do nothing, and you're invisible. Do something, and you're unwanted. So what's the secret? Why does the advice that sounds so confident fall apart when applied to real life? It begins with understanding that not all pursuit is equal. There are two kinds: logical pursuit and emotional pursuit. And the moment you fail to understand the difference, you become either ignored or used. That's not an opinion. That's a pattern repeated by millions of men, silently suffering in the shadows of confusion. But the game changes when you see the truth clearly. The only way to make a woman chase you is to start as the hunter. You must become the one who initiates, not with desperation, but with intent, mystery, and control. Years ago, I met a man named Roberto. He was a success story on paper. 3 booming restaurants, wealth, status, and the kind of presence that draws attention like a flame. Women surrounded him. Calls flooded his phone. Messages came by the dozens. Invites, affection, flirtation. I thought he'd cracked the code. But after spending time with him, I uncovered something tragic. None of these women loved him. They were chasing, yes, but not him. Only what he represented. They wanted his power, his wealth, his lifestyle. This wasn't love. It was logic. Calculation. A transaction dressed as desire. Her brain ran the numbers. Stay with this man, and life gets easier. This is what I call the curse of logical pursuit. The relationship built on benefits, not connection. It's seductive because it works, temporarily. But it's built on sand. One night, after a few drinks, Roberto confessed something I'll never forget. "Brother, I feel like an ATM with legs. When the money runs out, so does the love." And he was right. These women stayed, but always with one eye on the exit, ready to trade up the moment a more exciting opportunity came along. Logical pursuit fails for 2 reasons. It's hard to maintain, and even when you succeed, it never gives you what you really want. A woman who loves you for you. But there's another path. One any man can walk, whether rich or broke, tall or short. It's the path of emotional pursuit. The pursuit that doesn't begin with calculations, but with feelings. When a woman chases you emotionally, it's not because she's weighing pros and cons, it's because her nervous system is hooked. You become her emotional addiction. You make her feel alive. Her mind may be confused, but her heart knows exactly what it wants. And it wants you. So how do you create emotional pursuit? You create it the same way addiction is created, through small doses and controlled exposure. Imagine someone offers you a cigarette. You try it. It's interesting. A few days later, they offer another. Eventually, you start looking for it. And one day, when you ask for it, they say, "Sure, but now it costs $20. At first, they gave. Then you asked. Then you paid. That's the emotional blueprint. In relationships, attention is the cigarette. In the beginning, you give a little. You vanish. You return. You spike her dopamine, then pull away. You introduce contrast, and slowly she becomes addicted to that contrast, to the uncertainty, to the craving. That craving becomes her reason to pursue. As Machiavelli said, "He who controls the emotions controls the outcome." Women are no exception, but most men fail here. They flood her with attention. They become too available. They text non-stop. They remove all mystery, all tension, all contrast. And then they wonder why she disappears. It's simple. What is always available has no value. What is predictable is boring. Real attraction is born from emotional tension. Something she wants, but can't fully have. Something that appears and vanishes. That's what builds obsession. That's what fuels the chase. If you're still listening, it's because you're not like most men. Most ignore this truth. They live in confusion, chasing and begging. But you're here to learn. You're ready to lead. And to lead, you must master two phases, the hunt and the emotional conquest. The hunt is where you initiate, but not like a chaser. A chaser pleads. A hunter moves with power. A chaser seeks approval. A hunter offers opportunity. I once knew a man named Fernando. No money, no status, but women melted around him. His secret? It was all in how he spoke. While most men ask, "When are you free?" Fernando would say, "Tell me which day you're free. I want to take you somewhere unforgettable." One sentence, but it changed the game. It's the difference between asking for permission and taking the lead. Women feel that difference instantly. The man who leads is attractive. The man who follows is replaceable. Now comes the real weapon: scarcity. You contact her once a week in the beginning. No more, no less. Why? Because scarcity breeds value. Most men overwhelm women with attention. You won't. You'll show up once, with impact, and disappear. Just like a rare perfume, your presence will linger long after you're gone. Let's say you meet her on a Saturday. Don't text on Sunday. Wait until next Saturday. Then message, "You said you love art. There's an exhibition Friday at 8. Wear something elegant. Afterward, I'm taking you somewhere special." See the frame? You're not asking. You're inviting. You're not following. You're leading. And if she says she's busy, your response is gold. No problem. Maybe another time. No begging. No rescheduling. Just calm, quiet self-respect. And what happens next is magic. Most women, when treated this way, feel something rare: curiosity. A man who doesn't chase? A man who doesn't beg? Who is this guy? And soon enough, she'll return. "Hey, Friday opened up. Still want to go?" That's when you know the game is shifting. But if she doesn't return, you don't chase. You keep hunting. You stay grounded in abundance. That's how you shift the power. You see, the moment you go on that first date, you've entered the next phase: emotional ignition. This is where most men crash. They think the date is about showing how nice they are. They talk about work, hobbies, family, and they wonder why she never texts again. The reason? They had a conversation of facts, not of feelings. And women fall in love with feelings. A therapist friend once told me, "Women don't remember what you say. They remember how you made them feel." That line shattered everything I thought I knew, because I realized I'd been asking the wrong questions. The standard interview: what do you do? Where are you from? Boring. Forgettable. But imagine asking this instead. Can you remember a time you did something so exciting you couldn't stop thinking about it for days? That question pulls her into emotion. It makes her relive intensity. And when she relives it with you, she associates that feeling with your presence. This isn't manipulation, it's precision, it's mastery. When she talks about climbing a mountain, ask her, "What did it feel like when you reached the top?" Make her relive the triumph, the fear, the rush. And then you watch her energy shift. Her body leans in, her eyes stop wandering, her voice softens. That's your moment. You don't need to ask for a kiss. You just let your eyes glance at her lips for a second, then return to her eyes. If she looks at your lips too, the door is open. And now, here's the most counterintuitive move. You end the date at its peak. When things are flowing, when she's laughing, connecting, glowing, you leave. Not because you're done, but because you understand something most men never do. Tension is power. If you leave her at the peak, you don't just give her a good memory, you give her a craving. She goes home thinking of you, replaying every word, every moment, every touch, wondering when she'll see you again. Don't ruin it by dragging the night until it fizzles out. And when you leave, don't promise anything. Don't say, "I'll call you soon." Just look into her eyes, smile and say, "I had an amazing time with you." Then walk away. That night, she'll lie awake. Not because you overwhelmed her, but because you left her wanting more. And that's when emotional pursuit truly begins. She starts texting first. She sends updates. Good mornings, good nights. You've become the emotional anchor in her day. But this is the stage where most men destroy everything. They become fully available. They respond instantly, say yes to every plan, answer every call, and just like that, the mystery dies. The tension evaporates. She stops chasing. You must resist that instinct. When she begins to chase, you begin to withdraw. Not entirely, just enough. It's called selective availability. Out of 3 invites, you accept 2, decline 1. Out of 5 messages, you delay replying to 1. Out of 3 calls, return 1 later. This creates emotional dissonance, the feeling that she has you, but not completely. And that is the key to sustained attraction. And if she pulls away, don't panic. That's her test. She's trying to see if you'll chase, if you'll crumble, if you're like all the others. Your response must be silence, calm, unbothered. You keep working, living, moving forward. Because if she returns, it's because she sees your strength. And if she doesn't, then she was never meant for you. The final transformation happens when she realizes something powerful. Your attention is earned, not given. You are no longer the man chasing. You are the man pursued. The one who understands not only how to attract a woman, but how to inspire her to fight for you, to prove herself to you, to chase you, not from logic, but from desire. That is the true essence of power in the dating game. And you've now seen every piece of the puzzle, from the mindset of the hunter, to the science of emotional addiction, to the art of presence, tension, and controlled distance. Apply this. Live it. And you'll never chase again. You'll be the one every woman remembers, longs for, and tries to win. Because in the end, she must see you as the prize, not the other way around. And here's where most men misinterpret the role of emotion in attraction. They believe that once a woman starts showing interest, it's the finish line. But in truth, it's only the beginning of a far more delicate dance. A psychological duel where consistency must meet unpredictability, and intensity must balance with control. Because now that you've sparked emotional pursuit, your next goal is to protect it. And the only way to protect emotional pursuit is by refusing to become emotionally predictable. It's not about becoming cold or indifferent. It's about maintaining polarity. When she leans in, you don't always lean in equally. You maintain your edge. You preserve the mystery, because attraction is born in the gap between presence and absence. That thin line where she doesn't know exactly where she stands, where she wonders, dreams, craves clarity, but never gets all of it. That's what keeps her invested. That's what keeps her chasing. So how do you make sure you never fall into the comfort trap again? You implement a structure. Out of every 3 opportunities, you intentionally leave 1 unanswered. Not rudely, not with bitterness, just with quiet presence. the kind that makes her feel she's not your center, but a guest in your world. And the key to executing this correctly is understanding timing. You only implement distance once her emotional investment is obvious. If she's texting more often, if she's initiating contact, if she seems affected by your absence, that's your sign. You don't need to explain your schedule. You don't owe her an itinerary. Your life is your own, and the more she senses that, the more she will desire to be part of it. And when she comes forward, more deeply, more emotionally, you reward her with selective intimacy. You open up. You share a story. You let her into your mind, but not all at once. You drip-feed your soul the same way you drip-fed your attention in the beginning. Not because you're withholding, but because you're building anticipation. But there will come a moment when she tries to flip the game, when she begins to test your resolve. Maybe she cancels plans last minute. Maybe she starts replying slower. Maybe she withdraws affection subtly to gauge your reaction. And this is the fork in the road that separates men who hold power from men who fake it. Because this isn't the moment to beg, to question, or to retaliate. This is the moment to stand still, grounded in the man you've become. You've already proven your value. You don't need to re-explain it. The moment she senses you won't chase, she'll realize her moves aren't shifting your center. And that realization, brother, is the beginning of respect. Most men crumble here. They flood her with messages, seeking answers. Is everything okay? Did I do something wrong? And in that moment, everything they built evaporates. Because emotional pursuit is fragile. Once you chase again, she becomes the prize. The polarity shifts, and you become just another man she tested and broke. But you won't be that man. You'll stay still. You'll keep moving in your world. You'll allow her to return when she's ready. But you'll never wait. And when she does come back, which she will in most cases, you'll notice something has changed. She's more careful with your time, more deliberate in her words. Her gaze lingers longer. She wants to prove herself again. And now you're in the strongest position a man can hold, not because you manipulated her, but because you showed her something rare. Self-mastery. But the journey doesn't stop there. Now that you've inspired pursuit, now that you've created emotional dependency, the question becomes, how do you maintain it for the long term? How do you make her not just chase you, but continue chasing even months or years into the connection? You start by never letting comfort kill polarity. That means always having a mission greater than her, always investing in your growth, your health, your mind, your dreams. A woman must feel that you are moving with or without her, that your life is not defined by her presence, but enhanced by it. When a woman feels that, she remains inspired. She continues to compete, to improve, to show up, because she's anchored to a man she cannot fully own. And when you spend time together, you continue to create emotional spikes. You bring new experiences, you surprise her, you ask new questions that stir her heart. You keep her guessing, not about your loyalty, but about what magical moment will come next. And you maintain selective distance. You give space for her to wonder, to miss, to reflect. Because too much presence becomes noise. And noise dulls desire. And when conflict inevitably comes, as it does in all human relationships, you respond not with emotion, but with strength. You listen. You pause. You choose your words not to defend, but to lead. You don't fight to win. You guide to elevate. Because the moment she sees you can hold tension without crumbling, she sees a man worthy of following, a man worth chasing forever. The power you hold is not in manipulation, it's in mastery. Mastery of emotion, of timing, of silence, and of self. That's what separates the man who is chased from the man who begs. One builds desire, the other bleeds it. One fuels tension, the other diffuses it. One is a mystery unfolding, the other is a story already told. So now, brother, the game is no longer about chasing or avoiding the chase. It's about transforming into the man who naturally draws pursuit. A man so grounded, so aligned with purpose, that women are magnetized to his presence, not because of what he gives, but because of what he represents. He is not a destination. He is the journey. And every woman wants to be part of that journey, even if only for a chapter. Let that be you. Let your life become the standard. Let your energy become the invitation. Let your presence become the drug. And never forget, the moment you make her chase you emotionally, you are no longer participating in the game. You are the one writing its rules. You are the hunter. And from this moment forward, you never chase again.